This is the Endurance Championship, or BWAC, you want to call it that. We're at Season 4, Round 1 here at Fuji International Speedway. And we got a good one for you. GTPs, GT3s, multi-class event, 90 minutes, 20-minute qualifying round, which will take place in 6 minutes, 34 seconds. I see a little lockup there from Dylan Thomas of Draft Punk, Rock Flag, and Eagle. One of the few teams where we won't see the full shebang of their team name because it's just big. Looking over at the data here, we have Hyperion Racing, BWRL4 of Camden Craft in first in the GTP class, with only solo Landon Loy in second, Park Sala Cruz of the 212 Racing 12 car in third. 499 Racing of Ryan Otis leads us in first in the GT3 category. Delta Racing $1.91 of Washington Pereira Carvalho is in second. That's taking every letter from that leaderboard there. It is kind of condensed. Alex Zier of Mustang Madness is in third. And what we got going for you is drivers in the 130s. Almost every driver, about half the drivers in the GTP class are in the 130s. The other half are in the 131s. That said, they're all in the 131s, so you're just going to see a mixture of those 130s, 131 type drivers at the moment. For Ryan Otis, who's in first in the GT3 class, he is in the 138s, 138.7. Other drivers are in the 138s as well. There's 4 drivers and teams in that class. 139s goes after that in P5 with team Alexandre Cardoso. As he's in 5th. And then that follows suit from P5 all the way down to P15 with Jason's Chicken Chop of Chris Lambeth right at the tail end of the 139s. After that, it goes into the 140s, 141, 142, and that's about it. A couple of those drivers in the 140s, it's from 20, 21, 22, 23, but the last driver has not set a time on the board just yet, so that's where we'll see about 4 guys kind of in the straggles. Maybe we won't be having some hot battles at the start. Maybe they will. Let's hope. But everyone else will be very close. It's going to be some close racing from both categories. As we have 34 teams on the grid. I should specify that this is teams and not drivers, because there will be some teams have multiple drivers while others are going to solo it. Those who solo, I guess we know where someone is soloing. Only solo Landon Loy. But I imagine like the Barbecue Boys, Jesse Canales, if I remember correctly, has a teammate. But with it being the first round, just get a go through these with no notes, no information for me to gather beyond having the track map up and able to let you know where they are at on track. At the moment, I have no idea. I haven't been paying attention. Gosh, that turn 1? No, that was the last corner. There we go. It's been a while since I've been here at Fuji. And it's gone back to Matthew Wyckoff because it thinks he's going to crash. That's all this camera is. It just looks at the predictability of someone crashing. And weaving down the pitch straight is, I guess, considered crashing. Well, we have 1 minute and 55 seconds left. Sure, we'll get to see who does it. Angel Manella Soto. Oof, there we go. Nick Mazza. Quickly. Almost about to get on that racing line. And there you go. That's why we have that camera. So we get to see what people endure in practice. That was just right out of turn 2 there. So argue that was, yeah, that was technically 1 into 2, but there we go. That said, it's gonna be a good one. I'm not sure which class goes first. It's been a while since I've had to commentate one of these races, but I'd imagine the GT3s will rubber in the track for the GTPs to take over 10 minutes left in qualifying, and then they get to go set their time on the board. It's going to be a pretty quick lap. The only difference between the GT3s and the GTPs is 8 seconds from the fastest GT3. You can see right there in the background one of the Valhalla drivers of Gage Hines, Valhalla Motorsports Sphere. I'm not saying that right. I'm just calling him number 3 or 2, whichever one, because it's 1, 2, and 3, I believe. But I could be wrong. You see some sim motion decals, but while they made it a priority to get the right decals in the GT3 series, they did not do so in the BWEX series, which is fine. It's just something we expect out of Valhalla Motorsports teams. And they're running 4 teams, I should say. 4 teams, which is kind of cool. One of the few groups that I would say, oh, look at that. 212 Racing has 3 GTPs teams, which is... And we are back. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Alex Zier of Mustang Madness. First driver to take us to car racing. Not really, but, you know, qualifying racing. A little bit ways to go, as he's just gone through the Dunlop and area. Be wrong there. Nope, I'm right. And through the final corner, the penultimate corner, Panasonic, turn 16, we will ride aboard and here we go. Alex Zier is a very strong contender in the GT3 Sprint Championship. Let's see how he does here. Some names I haven't seen before. I'm sure of their prowess. Jeff, just behind. In the main Valhalla Motorsports, he's a pretty quick driver. Finished 2nd or 3rd. My brain doesn't really remember. That was just 2 days ago. I want to say it was 2nd. Would have been 3rd after the pit stop. And across the line, we will get a better view as Valhalla is right behind this driver. 140.2 is probably going to be on the cusp of it there. But at the moment, seems to be in third, as Matthew Wyckoff has just set the fastest time with a 139.7. Chris Chitterling in the low 140s in second. Chris Lambeth across the line into fifth. Matt Benson into sixth. Jeff Koffel was in third. Valhalla Motorsports 4. Gage Hines is in first. Hero Dose Racing of Jake Daly in sixth. Matt Benson was in eighth. Force Holland in ninth. The car racing 11 for Evan Hendry. Now into 12 is Gabriel O'Brien. Now takes 12. Cody H. Carlson into ninth. Marcos Adame, Delta Racing GT3 in sixth. And we still have some other ones out there that have not set times on the board. Brian Otis, who is a contender for the top step there. Tom Smith, Shay McCoy. Any relation to Cooper? That'd be interesting. Tyler Book of Cautionary Tale Motorsports. And Alexandre Cardoso also not set a time on the board. So if 13 drivers have set times, we're still waiting for a couple more. Harley Bass has not set a time yet. Colin Giddings, neither has he. Jeff Koffel now taking the top step from Gage Hines as Matthew Wyckoff went into second. Chris Chitterling into third. Matt Benson now into sixth. Force Holland into seventh. Gage Hines retakes the top step. Brian Otis goes into second. Jake Daly improves into eighth position. Shay McCoy goes across the line into 13th. Angel with the time on the board that puts him into 15th as Evan Henry has gone to 10th. Marcos Adame into 6th. Alex Zier into 7th. Cody H. Carlson into 12th. Promotion of one position there. You still got Washington Pereira Calvaro, who's not set a time on the board. Tom Smith into 13th across the line. Alexandre Cardoso is doing something really odd. He's on an outlap. He's got 3 minutes 40 seconds left to go. Tyler Book across the line. Is this a valid lap for him? Yes, it is. He puts him into 17th. Gabriel O'Brien goes down into 18th at that time. And we just got Washington Pereira, who hasn't set a time. Actually, we have 3 drivers that are in the pits. No time on the board for them. That's going to be interesting. Jeff Koffel retaking P1. Where's Matthew Wyckoff? Just behind, just in front now, into first. So it's a Valhalla 1, 2, and 3. Ryan Otis is out there flashing Forrest Holland. Chris Lambeth improves into 8th position. Was down quite a bit. Ryan Otis across the line gets a little bit of a toe, I think, because that's the quickest lap we got. Marcos Adame goes into 5th, improves a bit. So does Evan Henry into 7th. Jake Daly also improved. Matt Benson now in 11th when he had a really good time at 6th, I believe. And this driver, a little bit ways to go to cross the line here. I think between these two have not gone over the line. Well, here we go. Alexandre Cardoso. What does this put down for him? Puts him into 17th. And Washington Carvalho Carvalho is across the line and goes into 7th. Matthew Wyckoff improves into 2nd. Gage Heinz now into 5th because Chris Chitterling just went across the line into 4th. Ryan Otis staying on the top set for now. Valhalla splitting. Chris Lambeth improves over Evan Henry into 9th. And Ryan Otis now just sets the fastest time again, improving by 2/10. Jake Daly also improves. Hero Dose Racing into 12th. And now every driver who's out there has set a time on the board. 50 seconds left. It's basically going to come down to maybe one more lap for most of these guys. Or half of them. Some people are still crossing the line right now and still can go again. Cody H. Carlson improved into 12th. We have 3 teams that have not set times on the board. They're in the pits. Hopefully they show up for the race. That is going to make it 23 GT3s on the grid. Not entirely the amount of drivers, because there are teams that will have multiple drivers per team. That is definitely going to be the case for some. Washington across the line into 3rd. Alex Zier into 5th. Really splitting the track here. No improvement from Matthew Wyckoff. Jeff Koffel's in the pits. Chris Schierling across the line still in 6th. Gage Heinz has a little bit ways to go here. Can he improve? 4th and 5th are in the pits now. Be a lot more than that. Ryan Otis sets the fastest time again. And Gage Heinz improves into 5th. Jake Daly improves into 12th. And that pretty much sets it in stone for some of these drivers. Kyle Curtis, Bryson Chasers Racing. I guess I didn't even say this guy, but he's in 14th at the moment. Backs the curbing right there, and he's got GTPs behind him. This is going to be... Tom Smith improves into 14th. Kyle Curtis is the last driver, I think, of the GT3s. That is... Ah, man, that's going to be a rough one. Alexandra Cardoso and Kyle Curtis technically are in the right here. They are able to do this. Landon Loy is going to lead the drivers here in the GTP class. A little wiggle there. Bit of a hiccup. And it looks like there was no improvement there for our Alexandre or Kyle. Now this is a hot lap, but they were weaving an awful lot down the start straight, so they're trying to improve the most on this lap, but just trying to set the tires in for the next lap. My estimation is took it very casually down the start straight, just really weaving, intense up speed. Go on board with Landon Loy. Be the first driver of the GTP class to get his time on the board. Wow, really attacking the curbing there. Got 6 minutes, 54 seconds left in qualifying. Landon Loy will be the first. Will that time do it? No, it won't. Camden Craft just behind, got the fastest time from him. Parks de la Cruz into 3rd. Nick Mazza into 4th. Tyler Kokeko into 5th. Daniel Kennard into fourth. Now Eddie Layton is in fifth. And I guess we'll see who's next. 4 more GTPs will need to cross the line. Who are they? It's the 212 Racing of Powell Casca. Dylan Thomas into 8th with his time on the board. Powell Casca goes into 4th with his time. Barbecue Boys, Jesse Canales is not there just yet. Neither is Elliot Burton, but I believe... Oh, I'm going to go to Jesse Canales here. Barbecue Boys, who's further ahead, but one of the last of the GTPs that have not set a time on the board. The 11 GTPs. Landon Lloyd sets the fastest time with Park State Cruz just behind, .003. Quite the time. Barbecue Boys, Jesse Canales. Can he improve here? Goes into 6th as Daniel Kennard improves into 4th, just behind Elliot Burton and Draft Punk Gold. Is this time legal? Yes, it is. It is legit. He's in 10th with that time on the board. Go RK Racing. Yeah, Daniel Kennard. He's in 4th at the moment. I think there's a good screen to show what the livery is. Just different colors. Like a rainbow. Something. Powell Casca goes into 7th, improves just a little bit. It's actually further up, but times are been shaken up here. Park Sala Cruz, can he take the top step away from Landon Lloyd, 212 Racing driver who's sitting in 2nd, sister teammates in 5th, and another one in 7th. Wow, that is something. Landon Lloyd in the 129s. I don't even think we saw that in practice. Eddie Layton improves. Just crossed the line with a 131.366. Goes into 6th position for the moment. Maybe Nick Mazza can respond. Dylan Thomas, last of the GTPs, was on an improved lap on the last one, improves this lap as well, improves his time, not his position. Powell Casca improves his time and position, just one. E8 for him. What can Jesse Canales do here? A few corners to go. Got Daniel Kennard ahead of him. Nick Mazza. All 3 of these drivers make changes here. Camden Craft, Hyperion Racing, just went into 3rd. Across the line, Nick Mazza improves into 6th, Tyler Kokeko into 5th, Daniel Kennard into 3rd, Jesse Canales into 6th. All improvements from these 3 drivers. That is something nice to see. And dude, Dunlop they go. Dylan Thomas improves his time and position, goes into P10 at 132.5. Owl Casca improves into P6, 130.6. Say people were in the 130s during practice, but now we got a driver in the 129s, and that was Landon Loy. And he's out there. No improvement on his last, but he put the last one into the 129, something no other driver has been able to do just yet. An improved, not his personal best, but an improved 129 out of him. A Parks de la Cruz crosses the line with a 129.7. 9.7. That is quite the time. And now it looks like we have a great show for who's going to be the quickest driver in the race. Eddie Layton improves his time and position, goes into P8. Landon Loy is already in the pits, so it is kind of no response needed there. Elliot Burton improves his position, goes into 10th. That time on the board. Is it going to go again? I don't think so. I think he stops entirely. Owl Casca will be the first driver across the line, and he is through. And he's holding on to 6. Gonna get a little toe here, but it looks like Camden Craft is going into the pits. And Arce de la Cruz is trying to hold on to his spot, but I think he is safe. Even goes quicker on that last one. Camden Craft. Oh, sorry. Camden Craft went into the pits. Aleko Keiko, and 5th, did not improve his time or position. Whoops. Qualifying has ended. There's only one driver that was going to be able to make a difference, but he has fully hit the track limits there. This will count. Good thing we're taking an ad break before the race starts. That would have been something. But if you're listening to this on YouTube, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about. Well, there you have it. All drivers have qualified, with the exception of a few. And we'll have to wait until qualifying is officially ended for me to even pop up what is what. Some drivers in the GT class have not been classified in the overall just yet. So wait until the flip over. And it's time for gridding. Arce de la Cruz in P1, Landon Loy P2, Camden Craft P3, Daniel Kennard in P4, Tyler Kokeko P5, Powell Casca in P6, Jesse Canales in 7th, Eddie Layton in 8, Nick Mazza in 9, Elliot Burton in 10, Dylan Thomas in 11. That was the GTP class. GT3 class is Ryan Otis in P1, Matthew Wyckoff P2, Washington Pereira Carvalho in 3rd, Jeff Koffel 4th, Gage Hines in 5th, Alex Zier 6, Chris Chitterling in 7, Marcos Adame in 8, Chris Lambeth 9, Evan Henry in 10, Michael Sharon in 11, Jake Daly 12, Alexandre Cardoso in 13, Tom Smith 14, Angel Bonella Soto in 15, Cody H. Carlson in 16, Matt Benson in 17, Ryan Mulvey in 18, Gabriel O'Brien in 19, Tyler Book 20, Lucas Pineda in 21, Willie Brennan 22, Colin Giddings in 23, and Nolan Todd in 24. Those last drivers who have no set time on the board may not show up, but they did register, and it looks like we did get them. There's Texas Racing. Willie Brennan is here as well. Tyler Book is also present. Guess we're waiting on Lucas Caneda or Colin Giddings when they're in 21st and 23rd spot, but everyone else is counted and present. Almost every driver in the GTP class is fully present. All drivers are up there, and it looks like we are about to go green with 2 drivers that did not. Delta Racing of Lucas Caneda in 21st, and G Spec Racing of Colin Giddings in 23rd. Those 2 drivers did not join us. Participation trophy for registering, I guess. That's going to be 22 GT3s. Our overall right now is 35 teams. There are multiple drivers per team. And yeah. We're about to go racing. The challenge is this not a full outlet, right? We're gonna be good. Parks De La Cruz on pole, and we're about to hit car racing once that safety car slides right in. And he darts over. Landon Lloyd take the lead off the first turn in this Endurance Championship. Season 4, Round 1, and it is almost there. We're so close. Green flag, green flag, green flag. And off to the races they are. We already have a 4-wide situation in the back there in the GT 3s. I'm not even sure what that's about. Parks De La Cruz holds on to P1 for the moment as he accelerates into 2. And it is all good for now. It looks like it. He's cut off at chance from Landon Lloyd into 3. And they're going to battle 2 wide into the next corner. That's 100R. And through on the outside. Landon Lloyd is trying to make the move, and he does. And he goes through into first. Over to our GT3 class. Ryan Otis got a clean breakaway at the start of this race. Washington Carvalho has improved 1 position into second. The Valhalla boys are all in succession 3, 4, and 5. As we have drivers making up places. Michael Sharon down 3. Angel in the Ferrari on the outside of Cars Racing Michael Sharon, and no position gain there. But as we're going through, it looks like Cody Carlson has gotten through, and that's Matt Benson also making a move there on Ryan Mulvey, and that's an improvement out of him as well. Further up, we have Chris Chitterling of Little Lugnuts, hasn't made an improvement. Chris Lampeth, also no improvement. Sorry, Chris lost the spot, technically. Going over, and that's Eddie Layton making a move there on Dylan Thomas. Eddie's down 2 spots from where he started, and he is through. Washington trying to make a move here on Ryan Otis, as Gage Hines also gathering up. This is just like the GT3 championship. We had a Valhalla 3, 4, and 5, and it is the same here. Gage Hines putting the pressure on the Delta Racing $1.91. I think that's how you say it. And it's not over. Going over to Park De La Cruz. Lost the top step through 100R, following suit the moment. This is a solid line for all these drivers, just all just under a second, but nothing can be gained there. Cody Carlson has Michael Sharon in his sights, who's just lost another spot. That was 4 down for him, and he had an air, but that air didn't force him to lose this one, and it does! And he's into the barrier. Brennan trying to make a move here on Nolan Todd. Nolan Todd opting for the inside into turn 1. Not gonna let this go without a fight, maybe. No, he slots back in. This driver is able to get away. Many gaps have formed already. On board with Jeff Koffel, who's able to look ahead at his fellow sister teammates at the Valhalla Motorsports, and he's in the main one, mind you. The other ones are Sphere, I don't know. There's a couple other ones out there. Actually, there's 2 Valhalla Motorsports that are just called Valhalla Motorsports. How does that work out? Both have the same wording. Huh. Didn't think you could do that. Enter in 2 of the same. But I am proven wrong. Is Gage Heinz gonna make a move here? He's up 2 spots. Overtook his teammates. Doesn't make a move just yet. Let's see who's on right now. The Charge, Eddie Layton. He's down 2, and he's got Elliot Burton in his sights. Tyler Keiko and Daniel Kennard battling out here. It's half a second split with these two. There's a couple others that are just in the same ballpark. This one is close. Tyler Keiko putting on the pressure. The 212 racing driver in the 21 starts to the inside on the start straight here. And they are now side by side as Tyler Keiko looks to take the spot into turn 1, and he is through. Daniel Kennard is now down 1 spot, more he qualified in the 5th. Getting close. Look at this. The battle isn't over. They're still separated by only 2/10. It kind of ebbs and flows. Your 300R. Catching him in the braking zone. All right. Alexandre Cardoso gets Tyler Book there on the entry into turn 1. Pass is made. That is for P16. Billy Brennan also hoping to make up a spot here. Getting awfully close to Tyler Book. That Mustang is ahead. Gonna happen. It'll probably happen on a later date. Oh, I was proven wrong. Took a brief look at this. Ops for the service. That's unfortunate for Tyler Book. He lost several positions for that one. Trip worth mentioning is if there's any driver, anyone in the chat that you want me to take a look at, say the word. I will give an update or put the camera on them for a second. The moment it looks like Chris Schierling might have Alex Sear. Awfully a lot of BMWs in this GT3 series, and I mean in the BWEC, I should say, the Endurance Championship. Wonder why that is. A new Metacar, Camden Craft, and Tyler Kokeko getting awfully close. Group 2. No, sorry, that's not Tyler Kokeko, that's Parks de la Cruz. Camden Craft, Hyperion Racing, battling Parks de la Cruz. Tyler's behind them. That's a spin there for Tyler Book. Go to the pits. Like they're already catching GT3s. Powell Casca, another 212 racer, has Barbecue Boys Jesse Canales just ahead of him, and they're battling for spots. And they are just behind Daniel Kennard, who they're kind of reeling in a little bit here. A little bit of the slide there, I think, for Powell. Ooh, there's a move. Looks like Tom Smith made a move there on Cody Carlson. And it looks like Matt Benson's also going to try to get on by as well, but no, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But there goes Matt Benson down the inside. And they might take this too wide in the next corner. They do. And it is very clean. And Matt Benson does make the move. And it is not all over. Cody Carlson is fighting this tooth and nail. But I think that would kind of solve it right there. He's getting a better exit, but isn't going to be able to do anything with it. And Matt Benson really having to fight to keep this spot. And there's Cody Carlson already going to the inside saying, no, I may have gotten one spot down. I'm not going two down. And through goes Cody Carlson on this Valhalla Motorsports driver. Good bit of action in one lap there. Yeah, it's really good. Really good racing there. quite something. So, just a quick recap. This is what happened at the start. Somebody went off, and it just started kind of odd. And then Willie Brennan was into the barrier, and it didn't quite make sense. Bam! He just goes straight into the barrier. That also happened on lap 1. In Cars Racing of Michael Sharon, we saw this. He spun and was able to get it along by Alexandre Cardoso, one of the BMWs. He just whipped that thing in good. Luckily, there's a lot of space here at Fuji because that is a wild one. Gabriel O'Brien also suffered from a spin. He exited 12. And Tyler Book suffered a spin out of 100R into the barrier, and then he took it in. And then Valhalla Motorsports of Matt Benson. It didn't even register. He is gone. Chris Lambeth into the barrier. Whoa! He hit one of those sausage curbs. Not ideal, but he's back out there. Go DRK Racing, watching from Florida. Nice. Can give you a good look at him. Powell Casca of the 212 Racing is got him in his sights. Separated by 4/10. Jesse Canales has passed Daniel Kennard. Barbecue Boys driver was between these two GTPs. So one spot gained for him. That's going to be kind of rough for Powell, as he now has to contend with the Willie Brennan there. And there's a spin there from Tom Smith and some spots gained for some other drivers. Yeah, that BMW really went for it. Tom Smith's still able to get back out there, and he lost 4 for that. Unfortunate for him. Chris Lambeth now down 3 from that curb incident. Curb crash. Starts possibly the inside to make a move into the braking zone. Maybe he does it, maybe he doesn't. Oh, he goes for it, and he has the brakes for it. And he's past Cody Carlson down into turn 1. Makes it look easy. And he is through. Further up, Chris Chitterling, who's down 1. Alex Zier in his sights. They've been separated by 4/10 for most of this race so far. He hasn't lost this driver, but he hasn't been able to get by Alex Zier. For all the race incidents so far on lap 11. A quick review of what happened on the start. The GT3s went 4 wide down the start straight, and it looked like whichever one of those BMWs it was, it did not look good. They went straight into the grass for reasons I won't know. They didn't all try to go on green. All said and done. There's Landon Loy. Driver will barely see sometimes, but he is through and has passed all those drivers, making it look easy. He is now through, and one more to do that is Camden Craft. These drivers aren't separated by much. 8/10 from P2, 1.5 seconds to P3. But Landon Loy, who took the lead through 100R, sweeped around and got it before the hairpin, and it was beautiful. Made the move on Parks right through this section and stuck the landing on lap 1, and he's been in the lead ever since. Daniel Kennard now has Powell Casca ahead of him, only dropping down a little bit. That's 3 positions lost since I think he lost one on the opening lap. I think it was subsequently he lost one to actually now both 212 racing drivers, Tyler Kokeko and Powell Casca. Elliott Burton losing a spot here to Nick Mazza through the traffic. Must have been quite rough. That's Jake Daly. Got to contend with the GTPs as well as trying to get by Angel Bonilla Soto for P9. And they're going side by side. I think that's Chris Lambeth who just made the move. And it is Chris Lambeth. Well done for him. They're going to go side by side into turn 1 for sure. That somehow always frightens the absolute shit out of me. Because it's so loud. Awesome, that's the second one. That's scary. Jake Daly holds on to P10 for the moment. Chris Lambeth still trying to fight back. God, both of those are so loud. I don't know how to make that noise quiet. I don't even control it, but it's so loud. Chris Lambeth made the move, and now he's ahead. You know, and it's Chris Lambeth's fault. I hope this guy crashes. He made that auditory following thing. Hill and Med Smalls 83. That's actually a pretty good name. Thank you for the follow. It's alright, man. It's alright. It's down to Chris. And I hope he crashes. You created this auto thing that makes it so I have to hear those at full volume. And I never expect it. And we have Matt Benson and Alexandre Cardoso battling here through turn 14, through turn 15, and possibly through 16, down through the start straight. I'm guessing slots back in behind him, but does he have enough give down the start straight? He's not that close at the moment. I don't think he's really gaining anything here. For the moment, it looks like Washington is just going to be holding on to third for Matthew Wyckoff's 2.6 seconds back. The Valhalla boys have split this driver. Gage Hines has improved 3 positions, overtaking his sister teammates. And now P3. Hunting P2, that's Ryan Otis, who's 2 seconds up on him. Maybe he's hoping for some traffic that can bog him down, but Ryan Otis is leading comfortably. Taking a look over here at the GTP class, Landon Loy hasn't lost his pursuers, but they're still 2.4 seconds back, 3.4 seconds back. Alco Keiko's 8 seconds back. Yeah, he's only had to make one move in the race, but it was a race-defining move so far, as he's leading on lap 15. Talk about karmatic justice. Chris Lambeth here has spun it. Oh, he hit another curb. You think this guy would stay away from him? That's 2... somebody called him an ollie. The skateboard reference. Yeah, I mean, I would say that. That's the second one. He's now done 2 of them. And just popped that sausage curve and is back out there on track. But he's now down 6. And this is called karma. For creating that alert system that scares the crap out of me every time it goes off. I don't think he did it on purpose, but he still did it. And that's enough to get the old commentator curse juices flowing. Let's see some G23 midfield. Right now, the midfield. I guess how far do you want to go back? Willie Brennan here is in 16th. And this is pretty, I would say, midfield. Just look almost close to the mid. But it looks like Willie Brennan can try to make a move here on Chris Lambert on the outside into Dunlop. Not going to happen quite yet. But further up... Wait. No, it's not on. Yeah, Alexandre Cardoso, who's in 12th position. Matt Benson's still behind, 1.6 seconds back. Cody Carlson in 11th. No change in the order from these guys. They're very close on pace, but just no real changes being made at the moment. Jake Daly leading this little train. Angel Bonola Soto is, I guess, technically leading. Still within the draft of a second. Jake Daly is. And this little grouping would be our, quote, our midfield, if anything. 21 drivers on the grid. And then you got Chris Chitterling of Little Lugnuts, who's got Alex Zier just ahead of him, one spot. And then Marcos Adame, who's right ahead of them. So 3 of these drivers still close in action. But no change in the order since the start of this race when they both lost spots. Yeah, who's your team? Watching ERK from MD? Alright, we'll take a look at it. Oh, Elliot Burton had a spin. No crash there, just a spin. Horizon Chasers with Angel. Oh, Horizon Chasers doing fairly well, up 6 positions. That's pretty good. 13-second difference there to Chris Chitterling, who's in 8th, but leading this little pack here. And at the moment, no immediate threat to Jake Daly, but everyone's still within a lot of time. Just ahead of Marcos Adame is the Valhalla Motorsports drivers of Matthew Wyckoff and this driver, Jeff Koffold. Both of these are 4th and 5th. They got passed by their teammate Gage Hines, sister teammate technically. Even funnier, Matthew Wyckoff is running not even the Valhalla livery totally. He's got like a different decal on his windscreen there. Penguin. Well, I applaud the Valhalla drivers for their consistency of never having the decals ran. Washington Carvalho, who's in 3rd, still has Gage Hines in his sights. They're only separated by 0.3 at the moment. Gives Ryan Otis a little bit more breathing room as he's far ahead. Over to Camden Craft here, who's got a Park Sala Cruz just ahead, half a second. Tyler Book, say, he's back out there, and congrats for him sticking with it. Fun through that last corner we saw him. Out there. Washington Carvalho has just gone ahead of Gage Hines. Gage isn't letting it up just yet. And I don't know, I think it's gonna backtrack. Yeah, he is slightly through 100R. At an optimal exit of turn 3. That didn't hurt as much now that I've experienced it once. But CB203163. Thank you, the follow. Is that your social security number? Actually, just I think you need one more. Actually, two more numbers. Oh, Washington hits that little sausage curb there. Two more, and it would have been a really funny joke. Um, H. Heinz still holding on at 19 of 59. I think it's going to go to 60. It started 1 to 60. Time constricting. Welcome, Nolan Todd, back to the track. XAZ Racing Team. Yeah, Texas, Arizona. Welcome, welcome. You guys are you're out there, Nolan Todd. Up 5 spots from where he started, so he's got a good race going for him, but it's kind of in no man's land at the moment. Willie Brennan's up 12 seconds. Tom Smith is back by 8 seconds. Our closest battle right now is Alex Sear and Marcos Dami. And through he goes on Marcos. The Mustang Madness is on by to take 6th position. And Chris Chittling is still within the fight. Nothing changing. Jake Daly, Cody Carlson's ahead. Jake Daly and the BMW. What is it? Is that Andre Cardoso? That's the driver who just passed Jake Daly. We're kind of on board with that purple and black one. Both BMW, so it's hard to tell. A little bit of pace, I guess, Alexandre found, because they're really pushing. Gotta give credit to Cody Carlson. He's been having to defend quite a bit. Well, making his 6 overtakes also got some pressure. People have been building pressure on this driver as they get ever so close to Angel Vanilla Soto. I think it's safe to say that the Horizon Chasers Racing is going to be feeling the pressure quite soon, as these two are building. Cody trying to get some breather from Alexandre Cardoso, but it's not in the cards at the moment. They were at the same pace, a 140.6. Comes Landon Lully, making it easy for these drivers. Oh, maybe not. Oh, he's completely blocked in. That is... Well, Alexandre Cardoso got the spot courtesy of Multi-Class Racing. Almost makes a move here on Angel and close to doing so. Now these just an odd spot for the GTEs to try to make their moves, because these drivers are battling and they don't want to give up space. And Angel's holding on right now, but oh, that is almost strategic there for Alexandre, who made a spot up on Cody Carlson. And both are through now, but they had to wait. What's funny is that's 2nd and 3rd. Cody has gone into the pits already. Maybe that is going... I actually don't know how many times they're going to have to stop. I think it's just a 1 stop. But I thought it would be a lot later than lap 22. And there you go. There you have it. Alexandre Cardoso has just made up 2 spots. And through he goes. Well, whoever the other driver was that's in chat, uh, hopefully when you guys go through your pit stop, you can try to make up some. I mean, you're already up 5, but Alexandre Cardoso is a man on a mission. And that mission is overtaking. It is doing well. Now it looks like we have 4 and 5 lapping Michael Sharon, who's in 19th. So they've gotten through a couple of the GT3s. It's one of those eerie feelings when the lap driver was getting real close to the rear of Jeff Koffeld here, but I think there's going to be a little bit of an ebb and flow here. Oh no. Oh no. We have Angel. Oh. That is Tyler Kokeko. Chopper cam of this. Yeah, that's rough. Washed out. Tyler's still in 5th. I don't know if he lost a spot here to Jesse Canales on that one. He may have. I think he did lose 1 spot there. That's unfortunate. Multi-class racing has its positive and negatives. That's definitely going to be field 1 for the negatives. Don't want that sort of contact to happen, but I think that might be the only time I've seen contact like that happen in this race. Their book crashed again. Oh, he hit the curbing. Dylan Thomas trying to avoid it. Did avoid it. Tom did not use his brakes that much on that one. And, will spin into the barrier for Gabriel O'Brien there. Michael Sharon. Whoa! Caught on the press. Just really hitting the sausage curve there. Not want to do that. Just briefly, they just came together. And, Nolan Todd. What happened here? Brief spin. Plenty of space for that. And Alvarez Racing and Michael Sharon. Another spin. Gabriel O'Brien. Self-inflicted. And then I think the Elliott Burton. This one is the one with... Oh, no, this is... No, that's the one we saw. That'd have been it. We're back up to date and back into real time with all of the incidents that are happening on track. Talk about luck here. Maybe luck, maybe skill. I think it's mostly luck. Landon Lloyd got 5 seconds. Passed the lap traffic of the GT3s in such a manner that he really didn't have to worry about them. He got through, and Parks De La Cruz and Camden Craft sat through turns 13, turns 14, turns 15, and 16. Only then did they get past all of the lap traffic in the GT3s. It's just the stuff you know is going to be like, man, really going to get after him, but gained 8/10 on Landon Lloyd. But he's still now he's 4.1 seconds up, but I mean, from 5 to 4.1, it's just, that's unfortunate. Smith into the barrier, I believe. Oof, that's a hard hit. Oh, he was losing it. Nolan Todd able to get on through. Hopefully he has a repair he can use. Oh, this car's not that damaged. Still going. Being stable. I guess the Mustang is a decent platform there. Alex Zier is now behind both these drivers. Gotta look here at Angel Manila Soto, who's now down. Only has one spot gained as Willie Brennan has just passed. Not another incident here from this driver, is there? No, it's just the one from that spin. Hearing racing here. Oof, spun it. Not bad, all things considered. Still third. Alex Zier, though, this one doesn't make sense. I wonder how this happened. I guess he just passed him naturally. He gets through. And then in that same instance that he lost, remember, Alex Zier passed both these drivers. Whoa. Going awfully slow. I mean, he's following in suit, but did something happen for the Texas team? Or no, the Horizon team? Oh, they're just coming out of the pits. The pit driver swap. Al Curtis now at the helm. It's a lap down from the other GT3s. Shay McCoy of Ibex Racing's 4.5 seconds back. Jesse Canales, the Barbecue Boys, is in fifth. Tyler Kokeko did get his spot back. Aston. Powell Casca, 1 second back. Fourth, fifth, and sixth are in the lineup for a battle. Getting close. Nothing so far. Ah, let's see here. Chris Lambeth is in 12th. He's got Jake Daly ahead of him. Separated by 4/10. The only time I've ever tried to use my commentator curse on purpose. Oh no, Kyle Curtis. On it, but he avoided the wall. Yet it's. I hope that's a good one. Hopefully that's not too bad. Jay McCoy did get past him. Now down 3. It's very perplexing to some degree. That, like, it's not just Valhalla Motorsports, but a lot of teams, a lot of, like, I'd say like Hyperion 212, Raph Punk even. You have a bunch of these teams that, oh, Pax Oceani, they're all similarly paced. They always come like they always kind of like stack to the grid in certain spots and are always kind of paced the same. I find it fascinating. But then, to some degree, there's some drivers in those groups that are just their fastest driver and they know it. That guy kind of leads. H. Hines, who's second, third. Get a little bit more pace from these two drivers. We're in fourth and fifth. As they're approaching P16. It's gonna be interesting to know if Jesse Canales does have a teammate. I know that a lot of people have been running this solo. Some people are not, but yeah. Watch out, GTPs. That is E2 in the GT3 class. Don't do anything to Washington. It cleared him. Interesting to think that these two are going to be passing Ryan Otis, who's in first, but Ryan Otis has to make a move of his own on Tom Smith, who's just ahead of him, 4/10. Be a 3-1 pass made. Tom Smith sticking to his scenario here. Oh, he did let him go. Brandon Loy is in the pits. He's up on all fours. Jesse Canales trying to make a move here through 100R. I don't think he has the overlap. Nope, he doesn't. No spot there. Chris Lambeth. On the timing sheet, it looked like he had a move that was done and dusted. Put him ahead of Jake Daly of Hero Dose Racing. But in reality, we have him still sitting in 12th behind. But Kyle Curtis made it past Horizon. Kyle Curtis in the Horizon Chasing Racing got past Charlie Bass, who's just on his outlap. So these two pit and positions have been swapped. Spin there from Elliot Burton. And go to pits. Fortunate. ERK Racing, Daniel Kennard has just gone into the pits. His pit window is still not actually in his box yet, so we'll see. What we should take note of is it was a 57.6 for Landon Loy. Gone back. This is the driver who was leading, and he's the first driver to pit. Every other GTP is extending. Daniel Kennard is actually the second driver in the GTP Class 2 pit. Elliot Burton is in the pits, but he's actually towed to pits, so very different story. He's going to be sitting in tow for who knows how long. And ERK Racing So we're at a minute. So he did a minute. 57.6 from the race leader and a minute from DRK Racing. Crucially, he's ahead of Parks de la Cruz. But no, he actually drops down. Parks goes ahead. Parks has to go into the pit, so it's going to be all fine. Camden Craft is in. I think we might be seeing it here for the GTP class, but for the GT3s, we have drivers. I mean, Cody Carlson pit on lap 19, a minute 05. Willie Brennan did a 56.1, and he just pit. Shea McCoy pit on lap 19 with a minute 7. And I'm just kind of curious how this is all going to play out here. Kyle Curtis pit on lap 23 with a minute 03. Charlie Bassett a minute 04. And Gabriel Bryan still hasn't pit. Tom Smith's just pit with the 118. 118, that's massive. He did have some damage and it looks repaired, so maybe that's half the reason why that's the case. Tyler Book is in the pits now, so I guess we'll see what's going to happen next. Camden Craft did get ahead of Daniel Kennard, but that was always going to be the case. He was ahead before they went in the pits. The one we kind of want to see, the movers and shakers. Parks de la Cruz leads it with the 2-1-2 racing drivers in first, second, and third on the board. Well, it's not going to stay that way, but that's quite something to think about. As Valhalla Motorsports is third, fourth, and fifth in the GT3 class. Pretty cool to see the sister teams coming together like that. All right, Jesse Canales is in. Nick Mazza stays out. Eddie Layton stays out. And we have 2-1-2 racing teams. 12-21 and 2-1-2 all still out there with Nick Mazza. See what this driver does here for his time. Landon Lloyd's going to cross the line and get ahead. Retaking one spot back on his fight to get back to P1. The undercut, or right now we're in overcut territory. Every driver has opted to overcut Landon Lloyd. Let's see if 2 and 3 do it. Zeki Kabani. That was his teammate. Out there with a 1:02. So now this driver will take us to the finish. The Barbecue Boys. Dylan Thomas of Draft Punk, Rock Flag, and Eagle out there. I think he's going to go full stint, him alone. I think the GTP class has a few solos. Right, there goes Nick Mazza in the pits. Eddie Layton stays out. Powell Casco stays out. Tyler Kokeko is still out there. Still out there. Ryan Otis is extending stint in the GT3 class. They're still out there. The first driver that's in highest up in the order right now, who's in 12th, who's not battling anyone for position at the moment, but he does have Michael Sharon, who, I don't know if the blue flags rule exists fully in this series. I think it does. Not supposed to. Yeah, he's flagging him like racing me right now. I don't know. I mean, he's on his outlap, so it's hard to say what you do here, but I think if anything like the GT3 Sprint Championship, blue flag is get out of the way, but maybe not. Alexandre Cardoso is now in the pits. Let's see how he fares here with Marcos Adami. Did get through, so no, he's not going to be able to. There goes Michael Sheridan into the pits, so maybe slightly holding up this driver. Chris Lambeth out there battling Matt Benson for P8. Look at that. Chris Lambeth has now retained back all of his spots that he's lost through the spin that occurred. Jeff Koffold and Matthew Wyckoff going side by side. And now we get to see a little battle here of who's faster. Jeff was technically faster by a good margin on the last lap. 139.7 out of him. And their gloves are off for Valhalla. And he doesn't get the job done, or he does. Possibly. We go side by side into Coca-Cola. That's this turn right here, turn 3. Extremely fair and giving each other a lot of room. It's finally come to the conclusion of Jeff is up ahead of Matthew. But then Matthew Wyckoff makes a dive into the hairpin and doesn't settle this at all. But it looks like that right there is a split of a driver who, and on the outside, I don't think he has enough room there. What got into these two to get so racy all of a sudden? There they go. Marcos Adame is now up into 8th through the pit stops. Ryan Otis did pit with a 55.2 ahead of Gage Hines, who was in 3rd. And now Gage has Matt Benson ahead, but Matt Benson hasn't pit. 212's Racing of Parks De La Cruz is now up into 5th. Tyler Kokeko is coming out of the pits. Dylan Thomas, who still hasn't pit, is in 4th. Landon Loy is now into 3rd as he's got Powell Casca and Eddie Layton still out there on lap 36. No pit change just yet. Matthew Wyckoff is finally in the pits, so is Washington Carvalho. He's in 2nd. Jeff Koffold finally in the pits now as well. Little Lug Nuts of Chris Schitterling also in the pits. Ryan Otis down the start straight. The overcut. Was it worth it? Did it pan out for these drivers? We'll see. And Washington Carvalho is out, but he's 2 seconds back. Ryan Otis retakes P1 with some ease here. Now we're going to have 2 cars pop out at the same time. That's Matthew Wyckoff and Jeff Koffold. And Matthew was ahead with a 52.6. 1 second difference in their pit stop strategy. It's 1 second of fuel, I believe. And now Jeff, who got really racy and got past Matthew Wyckoff, now sitting behind him in 4th and 5th. Gage Hines up the track. 5 seconds almost. Yeah, 5 seconds. But he's got a 6-second difference to Washington, who's in 2nd. Powell Casca is in the pits at the moment. Landon Loy is now into 2nd. Lee Layton has yet to pit. I think it's all said and done here. Parks De La Cruz is in 4th at the moment. Camden Craft in 5th. Powell Casca comes out in 6th. Tyler Kokeko in 7th. Daniel Kennard into 8th. Kind of down where he started to, this. And then Nick Mazza in 9th. SimCity Racing in 71. But then there's Zeki Kabani of the Barbecue Boys. A little bit of a tap there as these two are going racing and taking this into turn 3. Maybe a switcheroo. Nick Mazza's holding on here. into the hairpin, goes for it, and there's a move. Becky Kabani making a spot on Nick Mazza through the hairpin, makes it work, makes it stick, and is staying ahead. All right, Landon Loy now back into leading this race. Eddie Layton in the pits. Dylan Thomas is going to pop in the pits. Parks de la Cruz will retake second. Camden Graff into third. Nick Mazza has a meatball flag. Let's see what he did here. Oh. They didn't get away clean. Oh! That is no bueno. Yeah, that's the meatball flag for you. Back in the pits, Becky Kabani retakes that spot. Now goes into 8th. Eddie Layton is ahead of him, but he's caught him and is through. Eddie's going to be kind of slow because he just went into the pits. And through goes Zeki Kabani, now back where they qualified this race. And hopefully that damage wasn't significant for the Barbecue Boys, because he hit clearly the side of this car. Matt Benson, Jake Daly, battling it here for P10. Chris Chitterling also getting involved in this. Becky Kabani is trying to move through the traffic a little bit. Another one driver behind as well of the GTPs, but everyone's awfully close. I think that was our second full incident. A GTP. Actually, that was just GTP on GTP bikes. That was in a multi-class incident. I think I've only seen one of those. Shuts it down quite quickly. He moved out and then back in. Now he goes for it. And does he have enough going for a defense? Did Jake go to the... was about to, but then opts back out of that. Eddie Layton has to get through. Maybe he's being more patient than I think others might have. Have gotten some spots in the hairpin. Now Chris Chitterling has an opportunity to attack Jake Daly here. Cody Carlson also getting in the mix. We have 4 drivers going for it, and there is Chris's attempt in turn 14. Hold this kind of momentum through 15 and 16. Gets through. Feels like when it rains, it pours. Matt Benson's doing fairly well, getting in the top 10, up 7 spots. Shitterling down 4. Getting a front row seat on Cody Carlson's onboard here as drivers ahead are in 10th, 11th, and 12th. And everyone's got the same similar pace. Looks like Chris Chitterling might be the next driver to make a move within this group of 4. Getting awfully close and Matt Benson. Oh, you finish on lap 59, not 60. And we're almost there. Good to say is that with the entries that are in this category at the moment, there's still a lot of uh, close battles out there on track. A lot of drivers that are really holding together, especially after hitting on alternative laps. That strategy usually washes out competition sometimes, but here it seems like even after that, people are still finding that they naturally get into the rhythm of another driver next to them. Matt Benson trying to make a move there offensively into turn one and then slightly holding it here. Looks like the four-way battle in the GTP. Yeah, let's take a look. I think that's Chris Schierling that has just gone through on Matt Benson. And I think he's going to be able to hold on to this one. All right. Tyler Kokeko of 212 Racing and Powell Casca, they're separated by 8/10. But further up, you have Parks de la Cruz in second, Hamden Craft in third. Both these drivers fourth. At 212 Racing, it's going to be interesting if they battle full on. Like that was if it was two different teams, I would say yeah, maybe it is going to be a battle, but who's to say? Maybe they got a lot more team orientation than we think. A good example of this is Matthew Wyckoff and Jeff Koffold. They battled only once. They kind of stayed in rhythm for most of the first stint, and just when it looked like that was all it was going to be, there was one lap where they actually battled, fully committed to one overtaking the other, and Jeff did get the job done, but then lost it in the pits when they both went into the pits at the same time. That said, maybe that will actually happen. Who's to say it? But right now, there's in the holding pattern again. I mean, there's a second difference between the two of them, and Jeff is technically going faster, but at least on the last lap. But who's to say it? Maybe Daniel Kennard of DRK Racing will be able to reap some benefits of these 212 Racing drivers battling each other for fourth. They may not, but I'll keep an eye on it. I'd like something else. I'd like to see this happen, but you know, maybe it is. Go on board here with Powell Casca, who's now breathing on the back of Tyler Kokeko here. Look at that little ad placement there. Follow our story on IG. That's a 212 _racing. You want to add 212 Racing? Got 3 drivers on the grid right now. I think they used to have like 2 in one category and 2 in the other. It's like 1 in the GT3s and 2 in the GTPs, something like that. I think I was like, no, it was separated. It was 1 in the GTPs and 2 in the GT3s. Been a while. But no change. Look at that. That's a good. That should be the YouTube clip, like, image. 2-1-2 Racing passing the Valhalla drivers of 4th and 5th. Both 4th and 5th in class pass 4th and 5th in the GT3 class. And both most likely won't actually battle each other for that 4th spot. That came together well, though. Who knows? Jeff is actually getting closer, though. That 1 second gap is now 3/10. Who's to say? This is a 2/10 gap. I put my money on Jeff trying to overtake Matthew before Powell Casca trying to overtake Tyler Kokeko. Just call it a hunch. But these two just got split up by Daniel Kennard of DRK Racing. So that battle that was supposed to happen just got postponed. There's a little bit of multi-class traffic that separated them. Nope, they're back on it. Loud alert incoming. Don't do it, Trey. Whatever you're gonna do, don't do it. Thank you, Trey, for the 14-month resub. Wow. For Noah and Craig, really appreciate it. I appreciate it, but they especially. Yeah, it's because I actually set my my audio before. I'm not. I was prepared for this one. To be honest, usually on Sundays I'm hungover, so I'm not really prepared for anything. It's a weekday. I'm alert. We're still on this because it is one of the... Oop, nope. There's Chris Lambeth and Chris Chitterling. And Chris Chitterling just passing Chris Lambeth. So the battle of the Chris's is going to Chitterling for the moment, as Lambeth has to kind of stay in his holding pattern. There's two GTPs made... Ooh, that's Camden Craft, making these two look all squirrely. Now, I guess that's... Who's betting on what? The battle for 4th is between sister teammates, 2-1-2 Racing, Tyler Kokeko, and Powell Casca for 4th. They are awfully close sometimes, but as we wind down this race, that many laps left to go, who's going to make the move first? Camden Craft still has been trying to reel in Parks de la Cruz for 2nd. The battle there is still on. It's 4/10, 5/10. But then you have Jeff Hoffold, who did battle his teammate on their in-lap into pitting, and he got past him but lost it on the pit exit. Look at the difference there. A 52.6 and a 53.6. That's all it takes. A little bit of fuel. And that's how he jumped him in the pits. A good move for Matthew Wyckoff, but battle for 4th. Maybe it's not over. Still underway. Well, nothing there. Let's go with Horizon Pacers Racing. Al Curtis had a bit of a snap. I think that's 100R, but plenty of space to get back on it. Tyler Book. Oof. A bunch of people hitting those sausage curves, and that is going to end the same way every time. Jay McCoy lost it to 15. And then Cody Carlson. A little bit of a spin. And that was on lap 42. Who is it going to be? Is he making a move? No, he is not. Is he making a move? No, he is not. But they are getting so close. Who is it going to be? That's Willie Brennan. Oof. That's some contact there. Just a little bit. Camden Craft of Hyperion Racing. Wait. Backing it up. Through Dunlop. Jeff was the driver, and I called it. The first... Whoa! That's what it was. Matthew Wyckoff hit the sausage curb and took flight. And Jeff has now taken the spot for P4. And they have Gabriel O'Brien just ahead of them, lap traffic. Trying to fly to Valhalla. Yeah, I'll say. That did it. Gonna let one by. Is he gonna let the second one by? I think so. Jeff has just gone wide, and Matthew is putting on the pressure. But he keeps it ahead. I wonder if their voice chat is actually just calm and collected, or are they saying hilarious things to psych the other one out right now. I would be like yelling noises, like just to unsettle them. But no, I think they're good. Nick Mazza trying to make a move here on Dylan Thomas for P9, and gets the job done. Not sure what that was. I think he was braking because he was going to hit Alex Zier. Dylan Thomas was about to tap that Mustang. Howell Casca still hasn't made the move, so I was correct. My assumption that the Valhalla Racing drivers would go to battle was true. That happened before the battle for P4 in the GTPs, because Powell Casca still in a holding pattern behind Tyler Kokeka. We're now 10 laps remaining, and look at this. These two are battling. He's holding a defense against his sister teammate down the start straight, and they are going to continue this. I mean, good on them. They actually just made contact, and he spun his teammate with the contact. Oh, no. Oh, oh, the debrief with these two is going to be fun. That's a 3.4 second gap you're not going to get back with 9 laps to go. Oh no, that's unfortunate. It was just a slight door to the left rear that sent him spinning. Oh, it's not funny. But if it wasn't your sister teammate, it would be not as funny. But it's, oh man, that voice chat's got to be really fun right now. Parks de la Cruz and Camden Craft still 2 and 3, but Camden Craft has cut in some time, I think, through Sector 2, and is really trying to put the pressure on with this race kind of winding down. Everyone's kind of where they're supposed to be at the moment. But not these two. They still have a little bit going on. Jake Daly might have a move here on Matt Benson at some point. But for the moment, he's not close enough. About half a second difference. Oh. Been awfully close. I mean, if there was just a slight deviation to their pit strategy, it might have. I mean, pitting on lap 31 to 34, it didn't change much. They both did a 1 minute in 1 second. But if it was just like a 57.6 or anything that could have shaped that up differently, that might have been what it was needed for Camden Craft to make a move on Parks de la Cruz. Gabriel O'Brien giving a lot of space to these drivers. Howell Casca, no change in these two either. Landon Loy leads by 8 seconds in class. Going over to Ryan Otis, he leads by 2 seconds to Washington. Pereira Carvalho in second for Delta Racing $1.91. How do you say that? Gage Heinz in Valhalla Motorsports Sphere? I don't know. The third one. I think it's the third one. Maybe it's the second one. Anyway, he's in third. We have a 3-4-5 from Valhalla. But Jeff still ahead of Matthew Wyckoff. That little gap has gone down to 1 second, though. He's chasing down his teammate, saying, "You bumped me. I'll bump you back." I don't think that's going to happen. Marcos Dami is in sixth at the moment with Alex Zier, the Mustang. It's kind of a no man's land himself. 7. Alexandre Cardoso in 8. Little Lugnuts of Chris Chitterling in 9th. Chris Lambert in 10th. Rolled back most of his positions from where he started this race. Matt Benson just behind in 11th. Jake Daly in 12th. Cody H. Carlson in 13th. Hyperion Racing, Willie Brennan in 14th. Ibex Racing of Shea McCoy in 15th. Harley Bass in 16th. Texas Racing, that's Texas Arizona Racing. And V. Ray, get out of the way. Tom Smith in 17. Horizon Chasers Racing. Kyle Curtis in 18. Force Holland of Cars Racing in 19. Cautionary Tale Motorsports Tyler Book is in 20. Team 788 of Gabriel O'Brien in 21st. Elliot Burton is the only retirement from this race, which kind of goes to show you the impressive nature of what's going on here. That 1 second gap has now dropped to 1/10. Look at this. Matthew Wyckoff pulls to the outside to make a move here as Jeff Koffel has defended and continues to defend as he didn't get the move down. The gloves are off. I like this. Valhalla are giving us a show. These two are the only drivers within half a second of each other, exception of Matt Benson, who's getting closer to Chris Lambeth, but not close enough. It could be close enough. Here we go. Matt Benson, Chris Lambeth. Matt Benson dives to the inside, but I think that's just a feint. He's not going to actually go for it there. Holding strong, but he is faster. That's a 140.533. And Chris Lambeth, a full second difference on the last lap. Gonna be tough for Chris to hold on to this. I don't think any lap trap or any GTPs are gonna put a wrench in this battle. Ryan Otis is 8 seconds back. Hmm. It's odd. Chris is already going for the defense. Oh, he's going for a break the toe. Leaving. Slightly not. I mean, I think that's what considered leaving. Our trade. Guess he broke enough of it. Matthew Wyckoff in a similar boat here. Take a look here. Landon Loy in first with Parksdale Cruz in second, still holding out. And he's got a 1.32 second gap to Cameron Kraft, who's in third. Powell Kokeko in fourth with Powell Casca just behind almost half a second, or full second. In fifth, Daniel Kennard of DRK Racing is in sixth with Barbecue Boys of Zeki Kabani in seven. Still doing fairly well. It's got a little bit of a buffer there to Eddie Layton, who's in eight by Piran Racing. SimCity Racing's Nick Mazza at 9 and Dylan Thomas in 10. One retirement for the GTP class, but in the GT3 class, 0 retirements, 32 teams. Not all. We have, I don't know how many drivers that is, but we have more than 32 drivers, just 32 teams. Matthew Wyckoff still half a second back, 5 laps to go. Matt Benson in the middle, really in the middle of it. He's got half a second to the driver ahead of him and behind him. So these 3 drivers at the end will probably be battling to the end. It doesn't look like it's completely concrete for these drivers, but for almost every other driver, it is. It is indeed kind of spoken for. It's done. Where most people are at on the leaderboard is kind of going to be it, unless something really bad happens. With 4 laps to go. Where's Landon Loy? He's approaching these drivers. It'll be 3 laps to go. He is dictating the pace. They're not quite affected as well. I mean, they do have Kyle Curtis, Horizon Chasers Racing, who is just ahead of them. That might play into it a little bit, and it looks like it's going to. There'll be lap traffic, and Chris is already flashing for Kyle Curtis to exit out of the way. Or maybe he's just letting him know. And he's holding. And now I guess the one on the back end here is Jake Daly, who's not gaining anything. And there goes Matt Benson down the inside, trying to make the move. And through goes Matt Benson, but on exit through 2, is he going to be able to hold on to it? I think so. And now Jake Daly's the one that's most affected by that. Camden Craft spoke too soon. These two are still battling. 2 and 3. Camden Craft trying to make a move in the hairpin. Not enough room, I don't think. He just lost half a second there. 3/10 now. Now it's back down to 3/10. I'm saying. Trying to make a move here, Matt Benson. They both have Nick Mazza. 2 and 3 have caught the 9th driver. Oh no. Oh no. I said something bad had have to happen. Daniel Kennard of DRK Racing and Zeki Kabani, the Barbecue Boys, made contact. And the receiving end is Zeki Kabani. Got away scot-free from that. Eddie Layton is not close enough, 10-second gap, so back in live time. Daniel Kennard only lost that one spot to Zeki Kabani, but that was a spot. Decent amount of contact there. Unfortunate. Mark De La Cruz and Camden Craft were able to get by Nick Mazza just fine. I think I would ever have to say that. Nick Mazza's a pretty quick driver. At least in the GT3s category. Jake Bailey actually does have a chance here on Chris Lambeth. Final lap to go. I guess we'll see what happens. Where is our race leader? Is he finishing here? It says final lap and finishing. I think it is done. Yep, he's pulled off. P1 for Landon Lloyd. Parks De La Cruz is going to finish just ahead of Camden Craft in second. Camden Craft in third. Tyler Kokeko in fourth over Powell Casca. It's not said and done, but Nick Mazza has finished. He's in ninth. Ryan Otis across the line in first for the GT3 category. Ooh, a little bit of a spin, but there's that chance there for Powell Casca. Fourth and fifth. Tyler Kokeko in fourth. Powell in fifth. And that is said and done for him. Daniel Kennard got by Zeki Kabani. And I'm not sure how that happened, but maybe he gave it to him? However that worked out, Daniel Kennard back in sixth over Zeki Kabani, who finishes for the Barbecue Boys in 7. And then Eddie Layton, last of the GTP, still out there. He finishes in 8th. Dylan Thomas of Draft Punk Rock Flag and Eagle in 10th. Ryan Otis in 1st. Washington Calvaro in 2nd. Gage Hines in 3rd. Jeff Koffel in 4th. Matthew Wyckoff in 5th. Marcos Adami in 6th. Mustang Madness, Alex Zier in 7. Alexandre Cardoso in 8. Chris Schierling in 9. Matt Benson in 10. Chris Lambert 11. Jake Daly 12. Willie Brennan 13. Cody Carlson in 14. Charlie Bass in 15, Shay McCoy in 16, Kyle Curtis in 17, Tom Smith 18, Forrest Hall in 19, Tyler Book 20, Gabriel O'Brien 21, Evan Henry in 22, Lucas Caneda in 23, and Colin Giddings 24. That's the lineup there, folks. And briefly, I'll hold on and see if that was indeed it. If anyone wants to talk to me, I guess. Let's take a look here briefly. What happened? This was how Daniel Kennard passed. He let him by. Okay, well, what a good sport the Barbecue Boys are and Zeki Kabani. He let him by. That was a clear sign that, yeah, go on by. It is, that's definitely what that looked like. He did let him by. Uh, Good amount of professionalism there. Um, in this league. There you have it. Just briefly show you the results again. Um, as it stands. Um, we have that's the first round here, season 4 of the Endurance Championship. Uh, Thank you all for joining me. We have our merch shop. If you want to click on that, it's like we have a little wheelbarrow race there on the start straight finish. Odd. Um, Congratulations to Landon Loy for P1 in the GTP class, Ryan Otis in the GT3 class. As things go, tomorrow, Wednesday, we have Works. Oh, I can't say that word. We have an Arca Oval race. It's a short track. It's a pay track, and but it's going to be used a bunch in the officials. That's going to be tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us for that. It's a friendly oval league. And on Thursdays, it's V's Rays multi-class racing. That will be streamed. Friday is the F4 series. It is not streamed. Then Sunday again for the second round of the GT3 Sprint Championship will be on Sunday. That's streamed. As well as on Tuesday, we have our Falcon series. And that is LMP3s and GT4s, and that is going to be streamed for y'all. Thank you for joining me, y'all, and have a good